shalom, my friends. Shalom, my enemies. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon here. And oh, you know how I love the theater. And oh, you know how I love comedy. And you know how I love to bitch and moan and complain about things. Well, all of this comes together because there's an off-Broadway play that I am pitching to you. It is called The Pitch, and it's all about nasty, evil, Glengarry kind of people who are trying to sell stuff. It is written by Tom Alper, the fellow that you see there. He's also in the show. And featured in the play is an actor and a longtime comedy podcaster named Phil Hendrie. We have them both. We're going to be talking to them both about their career and also the pitch. So first of all, shalom to you both. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, Rabbi, how you doing, brother?
I'm all right. Usual prostate problems, but I'm doing okay. Now, the unfortunate, sad part of all this is that only Tom Alper is Jewish. Hendrie, I'm afraid you were Catholic or something?
I'm the prominent, excuse me, Rabbi.
Let's try this again. Yeah.
The
You are the other? Yeah.
prominent comedians in America I have found are Jewish and Catholic. Catholic is how I was raised, but today I'm a Nichiren Buddhist. So
Are you really? Is Buddhism, first of all, really a religion, or is it just a path?
I guess it's a path. It's a way of doing things. It's what I found to be workable. Let me put it that way.
Well, what do you turn to Buddhism for? Because acting nourishes your soul, podcasting gets your rage out. So what does Buddhism do for you?
It gets rid of the anxiety of life. It lets me realize that all of life is connected from one particle all the way on up to the full human being all over the world. So if I'm, for instance, getting ready to go on stage, I do a little bit of chanting and I realize that I am connected to all the actors out on stage, to the audience, to the world, and all of that energy we kind of exchange. And you only got a pathway to what is constructive, not to what is destructive.
All right. Now, Tom, does that make sense, or is that bullshit to you as a Jew?
And my way of getting the same results that Phil is I'm on Prozac. So that's
there you go. And that's my
works for me.
Do you recommend it? I've been thinking about it, or everybody I know has been recommending it to me. So is it a wonderful drug? Is it a great thing?
Well, let me ask you, how depressed are you? And how do you deal with depression? You don't seem depressed to me. You seem pretty full of life and animated.
Let me put it this way. A, I'm Jewish. B, I'm Jewish. C, we've actually talked for 3 minutes and haven't mentioned the Holocaust, which is so rare for me that you can. But I thought, Tom, I mean, whether you're joking or not about the drugs, I thought the whole thing was when you got away from the theater and you had these day jobs, that's when you were all depressed and everything, and theater pulled you out of it. What do you need the drugs for?
Well, because being Jewish, I'm sure you could relate.
Okay.
Instead of being able to embrace this incredible opportunity of having my play that took me a good 10 years to write and 3 small productions in Los Angeles to come out to New York, where I'm from, this is a dream come true. Instead of enjoying it, I'm already, being Jewish, dreading, oh, this is going to be ending in 4 weeks, and what's going to happen then? So like a typical Jew, I'm already...
Now, by the way, I should mention 2 things. First of all, the Odyssey Theater on the West Coast is not so small. That's actually a pretty legit and well-known and long-running theater. So it's not like a little theater. No, it's not the Odyssey.
Yeah, no,
Second,
go ahead, sorry.
No, please. And then how could I forget to mention that the important thing about the pit, not so much the play, not so much the actors, it's in a friggin' synagogue, sort of. A synagogue that's repurposed as a theater, the Actors Temple on 339 West 47th Street, right in Midtown Manhattan. So, Tom, before we forget to do this, what is the pitch about? Please pitch it. Give us your elevator or escalator. I'm afraid of elevators. Escalator pitch.
Basically, the pitch has really been reviewed as Glengarry and Ross for a new generation. So basically, think of Glengarry and Ross, that legendary play and film, where if you took one of those salespersons and took him out and followed him home and see what he was really like. So that's kind of my play. So it's a comedy in the office, a little bit of a satire about sales and the sacrifices we have to make. And Mr. Phil Hendrie is the antagonist, this comedic genius, incredible.
I'm the guy that takes all the comedy out of it when I get on stage.
No,
So
There you
he's the
go.
comedic
opposite.
genius that stops being funny.
No, he is adding so much to this play. So so basically, it's about it's a satirical sales play about a person who's trying to hang on to his morals while surviving in this kind of world of manipulation. And he's dealing with all these crazy characters and all the like Mr. Hendrie's character and the sales guys. And what separates this from Glengarry and Ross is that I have a father-daughter subplot. My character actually goes home and is dealing with a teenage daughter. What's great about this play is just when you're getting tired of the goofy comedy, you then get some serious, a real relating between the father and daughter. And just when that starts to get a little bit too much, boom, we go right back to Mr. Hendrie and some of the other characters to
Right
liven
back to
up.
me threatening his career and his freedom. It's very funny.
Yes.
Now, let me ask a question that's related
My
to sort of
character, not me.
your character, of course.
Yeah.
Related to both of you. Did you feel intimidated, Tom, as soon as you knew you'd be writing about a schmucky salesman with high pressure pitches, that no matter how well you did, everybody said, "Oh, it's Mammoth. It's warmed over man. It's Mammoth, Mammoth, Mammoth." And this will go to you, Phil, because you actually were on a David Mamet TV show. So first to you, Tom, how did that stop you? Did that intimidate you, or because you lived it and you didn't even think about it?
Yeah, the second part, because I lived it, because I worked in the office with these guys, and the fact that I purposely I put a salesperson, the main character myself is a fish out of water, someone who doesn't belong in there. So in my mind, it was completely different. So when people first started comparing it to it, I was a little like, oh my God, worried that I was going to be accused of being a ripoff artist. But the play is so different and has its own voice and story that I've learned to embrace and be thankful of any comparison to, because that I saw that play originally in 1984. I was 20 years old on Broadway with Joe Mantegna, and it blew me away. So, and David Mamet's always been a sort of a theatrical hero of mine. So any comparison to him, to be honest, is flattering. So
Now I
that's
have to ask Phil, did you actually get to meet or be in a script conference or anything with Mamet on the show that he was doing? I forget the name of it, but
The
yeah.
unit, yeah, no, he directed one of the episode. I walked in one day, and in fact, my manager at the time said, "David Mamet's, he's going to be directing this episode." And I said, "Okay." My manager was more nervous than me, but because when I met Mr. Mamet, it was very easy, man. He's a shorter man than me. He's about 5'8". He was wearing a wife beater, and he was from New York. He talked like this: "Hey, I'm Dave. How you doing? I'm great."
Well,
Okay,
he's
so
Chicagoan actually, but yeah,
oh,
okay.
is he from Chicago? He
Yeah, yeah.
sounded like anything outside of LA is all New York to me, but anyway, or Texas. He was a very, very easy man to work with, and he asked me my opinion where I should be on this set. Where does he see my character? Where do I see my character? And he said, "Okay, let's do that." And then, real easy guy. He's the first director I ever saw, and the last director I ever saw to address the extras and say, "I'm sorry, this is such a long day for you guys. I know you're sitting there. I don't know if people know about what extra work is. It's very long and hard and boring, and you bring your own wardrobe, and nobody pays any attention to you until you're needed on set." And he actually went over and talked to them. So his humanity was great. His creativity was great. He was very human. His politics, they say, suck, but hey, you know what? We can't all have it all.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, everybody here is an actor and a comedian person, so guaranteed you guys are sort of left wing, and he's moved to the right. Doesn't make him the worst
No,
person in
doesn't
the
make him a
world,
bad guy. And he wasn't. He was a great guy, and I had a lot of fun working for him. And I was. Oh, and he also wrote a scene. He didn't write a scene. He wrote some dialogue, extra dialogue for my character, which I saved. I was very, very happy
You mean
about
you
that.
physically have the actual?
I've got it at home. Yeah, I've got the actual script. There was an extra little speech that my character gives at this gathering for these veterans or these service people and their families, because the unit was about a unit of Army Special Ops guys who then go home and have their lives at home as well.
Now, Tom, I want to ask you, since you're also been an actor, for any celebrity stories of your own, good or bad. Anybody you want to rave about to work with, or someone that you wish was dead and buried and somewhere in Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
The older I get, I've sort of realized that it's time to let go of grudges. If this was 5, 10 years ago, I would give you a whole bunch of stories. But to be honest, right where I am now, working with Mr. Hendrie, it's been like a dream because what's so amazing about working with Phil is that if you hear a show, I mean, this guy's an unbelievable genius, how he can do all these voices and characters. And then to have him do my scripted play, which I feel is actually like in a way I'm holding him back, because his talent is so strong, his comedic, his impulses and improv. I'm almost like I feel like I'm harnessing him in my play, and the challenge for me, and I think probably Phil, I mean, he's a terrific actor, is trying to blend this character along with his incredible comedic talents, and he's adding a lot to it. But I still feel like I wish I could like do him more justice, like right,
Well, there's
You
the
should write,
sequel. Write the
write a
sequel and
play
make
for
it.
me.
there you go.
Write a play for me, Tom. Okay.
There you go. So and so bouncing back to Phil, we should also mention that you do a lot of voice work and that your sound, your mouth has been heard on King of the Hill. It's been heard on F for Family, which is that wonderful Bill Burr show.
Great.
Little mad at Bill Burr for playing in Riyadh, but what the anywho. So we
Phil's
will.
actually on stage right now in Glengarry Glen Ross. Glengarry Glen Ross himself in New York.
I think that finished. I think that ended a
But
couple
so,
of weeks
okay.
ago. But talking to you, we will of course get back to The Pitch, which is playing at the Actors Playhouse through November 17th. But Phil, there's just so much to talk about in terms of people of starting your podcast all those years ago on the coast, having it syndicated. I mean, were you just a regular DJ and then you thought, one character, then three characters, and how did it morph?
Yeah, it basically, I was a disc jockey for 17 years, knowing that I had so much more that I wanted to do, but I was holding myself back for a variety of reasons. And I finally got into my late 30s, and I said, well, if you don't let it go and do what you need to do now, you're never going to do it. At some point in all of our lives, if we're going to be happy, we have to step into the breach, whatever we call that, step into the breach and face the headwinds, man. You gotta roll the dice. You gotta get into the danger zone. And I did. I left my comfortable disc jockey job at doing morning drive in Los Angeles with a really beautiful girlfriend. I split. I went up to Ventura, California for like no money and started doing this talk show where I just let it go. And I told myself, even if you get fired from every job from now on out, at least you're speaking your truth, which I had a acting teacher, who used to say that that's what you needed to do. So I started doing all these
Let me
things.
ask you, did you at least try, first of all, to incorporate the things you wanted to do into Morning Drive? And they told you, no, just
I
announce
did,
and back
yeah.
announce, or
Yeah, I did.
didn't
And
work?
it did. There's Tom's neck. I did. And
It's a nice
I was
neck. Yeah.
told, yeah, I was told in those days, album rock radio music was God. So I had a program director who told me, don't be funny. And I learned something else there. I said to myself, never again will I ever let anybody tell me what is funny and what isn't. If they don't like it, that's one thing, but don't tell me what's funny. So I tried and I failed and I got fired from jobs as a disc jockey doing this kind of
Mm.
improv. It wasn't until I got into talk radio, which actually came into popularity because of the
Well,
popularity
Imus and
of
Stern, basically, but yeah.
Imus and Stern and Limbaugh.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what happened. I did anything that came into mind. I started talking to myself on the phone. I started creating these character sketches that the callers believed. And that was another discovery, that people out there in the world believed these people were real. So we worked that for all it was worth for the next 16 years. And the show got to LA and we got syndicated. And then I realized maybe I should have been an actor my entire life, because that's really what I'm doing here, man. This is the talk about a weird way of getting into it. So I was actually contacted when I got to LA by casting directors, and people said, would you like to be on this show or that show? Didn't know what I was doing, but I said, yeah, okay. And the first show I think I did was a pilot for Judd Apatow called North Hollywood, in which at the very end of the table read, at the far end of the table was this brilliant guy just kind of going off on book, rapping fast and being really funny. It turned out it was Kevin Hart.
Oh my gosh. Wow,
And
all right.
guess what? I'm going to be in Kevin Hart's new animated show, Lil Kev. I think
Little
we're going
Kev.
to start.
So many
start
things to push. Little Kev.
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
by the way,
go,
can I
go
ask
ahead.
if
Go
you
ahead.
you still have a podcast? I mean, you went through that whole syndicated thing, and then you were doing it 6 days a week. It was going crazy.
Yeah.
But you still do a podcast, right?
Absolutely, every day. Just did one last night, I'm doing it from the laptop here,
And
doing it
are you still
remotely.
incorporating the crazy character, or is it more like you?
The whole show's about the characters, me talking with my characters, and I'm in a panel. Just last night, I talked with a guy named Eel Beeston, who's one of my announcers. That's not really his name. His real name is Lawrence, but he can't say Lawrence, so he just uses these other names. It's psycho, But
Of
hey, when
course,
you're
yeah,
sitting
it's
here at
gonna
10
be.
o'clock at night, and you're going, "Oh, I got to do a show." Well, let me just start to create something here, and for half an
And
hour, that's what I do.
if people, by the way, want to listen to that show, and I assume you have tons of archives that people can just keep clicking at philhendrieshow.com, and that's HENDRIE, philhendrieshow.com for all the podcasts and all that. We've got much more to talk to you about, but I feel a little bad. Tom's sitting there like, this is really
Well,
interesting. Talk about my play! So I will.
no, Phil's the draw. And one thing, Rabbi Solomon, this is a big treat for me. My actual executive producer, Christine Blackburn, who is the heart and soul of this play, is actually just stepped in here. So I would like to just introduce her for a couple of minutes because
She's
Of
sitting in
course.
your lap. She looks like she's sitting on your lap, Tom.
Lucky him. Hello.
Hi, Rob.
I have seen your website too, Christine, and there's a naked picture of you. So everybody go there immediately. What the hell were you doing on that thing with the bicycle and the thing?
Wait, I want to ask Phil about Eel yesterday. Doesn't he have a voice that, and maybe he
Oh,
even
did you
did
hear?
some of the
Yeah,
promos for films, like this summer, because his
right.
voice is so strong.
That's a
Does
satire of that voice. Yeah, the character voice is like, "The following is a Phil Hendrie Show
right,
encore
right,
presentation." Yeah, all those stupid voices. That's what he does. That's what it is.
that deal. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought so. I really like him.
Affectation. Yeah.
Okay. Now back to the nudity. So what the hell was that about, Christine?
Sure, bro.
Christine Blackburn. Sorry, Christine Blackburn. So who's also a podcastress and a comedianess. So yeah, tell us about you
Well,
because we have a few
you
minutes with you
know,
here. Yeah.
I've been podcasting, Rob, for 15 years, and I have made hundreds of dollars.
I know the feeling. I know. But so where do you get, with all due respect, you are the producer of The Pitch, which is playing at the Actors Temple. That isn't chump change. Did you go to your local, how did you raise money? Must have been several thou, because it's a big cast.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Well, not only did I sell my body, but I sold, I had a sex line going and OnlyFans. And I also opened an OnlyVans because I'm kind of too old for the OnlyFans. So we do OnlyVans page. We talk about minis and comfortable footwear.
It's good
Stuff
to
you can
know.
do in bands too. I've known Christine for well over 20 years.
Well over
She's been
20
a
years.
hardworking show business. I mean, Christine's been at it doing everything, stand-up, podcasting. She was on TV, on TBS doing a movie show. I think I was on that show with her. What, wasn't I? I forget. Um,
Yeah. And
Well, no,
I missed what Tom said. Yeah.
this project, the pitch, Rob, just really excites me. I've been working with the pitch for the last 4 years, but this is the first time I've kind of put my money where my mouth is, as it were. And so I really believe in this show. It's original, it's clever, it's funny. Everybody leaves very satisfied. And on this particular run, we've already done 10 shows, or maybe nine or 10 shows. 10. Everybody walks out of that theater with a smile on their face, and I'm the one that opens the door, so I see them, and I see the people that are even coming back already. People are coming to the show, getting their friends, and coming back because it's really that satisfying.
Well,
So
let me ask, just in terms of nuts and bolts, because you dodged the question, but let's say this continues to sell really well. Will you
yeah.
even break even? Or is this sort of just a rung that at some point the show goes here and here and here, and then you'll all make some money?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I definitely don't think this is going to be it's not the beginning of the pitch. It's certainly not the end of the pitch. I mean, this is a piece of art and it's kind of moving and flowing all the time. So I'm hoping to do many more productions, not only back in Los Angeles, but maybe more here in New York. We've already been asked to extend at the theater, so we're making decisions. So we have a big future for it, and we're really happy at where we are right now.
Do you see why I hired her?
Yeah, of course. See, but I do have to ask an unrelated question because you are here and you have done podcasting for 15 years, as you said. So memories of like the best or worst interviewees that you've ever had? Because you've talked to people like Bobcat Goldthwait and other. So who's like stands out, good or bad?
Okay, when I went out to Tarzana to Ed Asner's house, actor Ed Asner.
He's been on this program. Yes, we know him. Yes.
Okay, great. Did he hit on you?
Yes, he did. Yeah, and it was two
So that's a
ships. We
great
were
memory.
drunk.
It's a great memory for Christine. Ed Asner hit on her. So
Yeah.
All right, he's he's an old. He was probably single or single-ish. Were you interested? Did you no.
He was, what's so funny is he was in a wife beater t-shirt, tank top, and just as hairy as you can imagine, sitting on one end of a dining room table that was stacked full of mail and old food and candles and pens and papers and just junk. And the first thing he said to me, okay, not the second thing, Rob, the first thing was, well, don't you have a nice rack?
No. You know what?
Yeah.
When you get over 80, you can say anything.
maybe you saw the picture of you on the motorcycle.
And I'll be honest, before we went on when everybody was on Zoom, but before we started taping, I told Phil the same thing. I said, Phil, what a pair on you. Oh, I love this like this to him.
Let me tell you one of the nicest guys I've ever met in show business, and that is Larry King. He was a really good man, and I really enjoyed all my time with him. I've spent like probably 4 different occasions with him.
All right,
Great guy.
hold it. So I want to believe this because Larry King, of course, Jewish, but Phil Hendrie's holding his nose. Did you have a bad experience?
I had an interaction with Larry King in Miami where I pretended I was somebody else and he bought it and then he got pissed at me for doing it.
Oh, that's
The whole
great.
reason was because he ripped on my station. He was talking to Don Shule. He said, they're really ripping on you, WID in Miami, aren't they? So we kind of took that personally and we went after him a little bit and
I remember that, Phil. Yeah.
made him.
Now, before we're still, of course, leaving out the playwright who created the thing that we're all talking about. So Tom, still here, Tom.
Better mouthpiece for me than I could ever be. But go ahead.
No, but also, is this your first? Have you written other plays? You said this
I
was
have.
being
So
developed in 10 years.
I started out as a creative writing major at UCLA in the early 80s, and playwriting was my that was the emphasis. So I wrote maybe 15 plays in college. 6 or 7 of them got done, but my real love was for acting. So then when I graduated college, I started acting. And like an idiot, I stopped writing. I'm not sure why. So every 5 or 10 years, I would write a play or I'd write a short, get it produced. But my whole emphasis has been on acting. But now as I've gotten older, my parts have gotten a little smaller. I've gotten pigeonholed into a certain type of role.
My parts have gotten smaller too. It happens with age. But there
I
you go.
just decided, why don't I write a part, that I would enjoy playing? So, and that's what I did. I started out to write this play to enhance my acting. I've been getting some good notice for my acting, but I'm getting way more notice for the writing, which I wasn't expecting that. So I'm starting to realize that, maybe might be I hate to say it, a better writer than actor. Even though acting's my passion, I don't like writing, but I've always been able to write. I've always had a great ear for dialogue, and I come from a family of writers.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
My brother is a brilliant writer. He's written screenplays. He's written for TV. He's got a novel. My father was a science fiction writer who's now written 20 psychology books. My uncle's a songwriter. And my mother's a brilliant. So writing, I don't know.
Your mother's a bruh? A what? What is your mother?
She's a brilliant writer. She's a
brilliant writer. Yeah.
She's written many articles. So writing's always been in my family. Now I don't know if it's in your DNA, but maybe it is. So to answer your question,
Wow.
dialogue's always been a real easy thing for me to write. And
Now, let me ask you also, as a person who's written some stuff too, and since there's a producer in the room, please produce my fucking play. But here's my question: have you gone back to your old plays? Do you even look at them? Do you think, juvenilia, or yeah,
both? So I cringe, and like how I would just write like what was going on in college. If I got drunk in a party, that was my next story. If a girl broke up with me, that was my next play. So, I saw like I didn't have any life experience. But what I do kind of, if I could proudly say it, is I could see there that the soul of being a writer was there. that I had the heart and I had the sense of humor and the ear for dialogue. And I think that is still what transcends, because that's really what I am. I'm a person, who looks at life sort of in a kind of satirical way, but I have a lot of heart. So I think that's how my writing is. My writing is comedic with depth, if that's possible.
It's possible you're doing it right now with the pitch. By the way, the producer of the pitch, CHRISTINE BLACKBURN, is your current thing, but on the podcast, there's something called Story Smash. What the hell is this?
That's a game show that I do in Los Angeles. It's a live show. We do it every other month at this time. The next show is December 6th. It's a Saturday night. And basically, comedians go up on stage and spin a wheel. Whatever they land on, they tell a true 1-minute story. And there's a clock, so they're counting down. And after their story's over, they are critiqued by 3 expert judges. And that's sort of where the funny comes in, because they talk about the story a little further and make a lot of funny jokes. And so it's a great show. It moves very quickly.
And in fact, Phil Hendrie has been one of those celebrity judges on more than one occasion, and he was hilarious.
Well, let me ask, I'm going to be really evil here. I'm going to ask, if you're up for it, each of you to tell a 1-minute story. And old Rabbi here, I'll be like Solomon. I am Solomon. I will judge who has the best story. Come on, you guys can do it. It can be fictional. It can be factional. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. The first one.
Bill Hendrie, go.
Yeah. I was at Lake Arrowhead as a kid. That's a lake in California.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the big kids jumping into the lake. They were jumping off the end of this pier. Couldn't have been more than 5 years old, 4 years old. I did not know how to swim. I learned to swim that following year. But I decided, well, all the kids are jumping in, I'll jump in. And all I could see was green water and bubbles racing by my face as I was sinking. And when you're that age, you don't think you're going to die. You just think, wow, look at all these bubbles. And shouldn't I be like up there? And I'm telling you the truth, underneath me swam this kid who's on his shoulders I grabbed, and he swam me to the surface. Now, I've thought about that. And then I got out of the water. The kid took off. I got over to where the adults were. My mother put a towel around me, and I told her what happened. And they were like, that's nice, honey. So anyway, as I was getting back to my, it was like it almost didn't happen, but I know it did. Okay. I know it did. I think it was something like, maybe she just thought I was in waiting with the big kids, and I came out and I was wet, and she's wet, yet went back to her conversation. But whatever, this happened in my life. This kid saved my life. I don't know who he is. Nobody knows it happened except for me and anybody else that I tell. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for that kid.
Time. Little bit over there. Wait, is there a moral to the story? Is there a theme? Is it a thing you always think about for a reason?
Yeah. It's like even if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it or see it, it fell in the woods.
Not bad. Not bad. Could be the winner. Who wants to go next?
That was a great story.
Okay, I'll go next. So I have a very complicated relationship with my mom. She's a Jewish, strong woman, and my whole relationship has been her kind of to control me trying to break away. So this goes back to even when I was 5 years old and I was going into first grade. First day of school, my mom wanted to walk me into class, and I was being very defiant, said, no, I can do it. I know where I'm going. So I walk into my class. The whole day goes, my mom comes, picks me up. I'm crying hysterically. She said, what's wrong? And I'm like, I was the stupidest kid in class. I didn't know anything. Everybody was like kind of laughing at me. I didn't know what was going on. And the teacher wasn't very kind to me. And then my mom immediately goes into the principal's room and says, my son was in so-and-so, and had this awful experience. What kind of school is this? And the principal says, okay, your son is so-and-so, Tom Alper. What class did he go into? And I said, Mrs. Goldstein's class. And he goes, okay, your son's 5? She goes, yes. Mrs. Goldstein is the 4th grade teacher. He was in the wrong class, not the first grade. So the moral of the story is, mom knows best, and I should always embrace the fact that she has my back.
Listen to the mamala. Perfect story. Perfect. I saw it coming. I have to say, I kind of saw the reveal coming, but it was still great. All right. What's your story there?
No, oh God, that's so uncomfortable. I don't like that.
You started Story Smash. This is your thing here. Okay.
Well, this is a lot of pressure because both of those were very good stories.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I'm sitting at the dining room table with my mom and my dad, and we're having dinner. Actually, it's tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches, comfort food. And there had been 6 children in the family, but everybody was off to college but me. So it was just the 3 of us there. And all of a sudden, my mother pulled this phone bill out from underneath her plate and started waving it around. And she said, Jack, who are you calling in the 935? We don't know anybody in the 935. And I looked at my dad and I saw, boom, just like that in his face. I saw it turn. My dad was having an affair with somebody in the 935.
Oh, God. Mm.
So my dad got up from the table and he walked out of the house. And the next day when I got home, there was nobody home and the door, his closet door was open, and I went and I opened the door further and I looked in. All of his suits were gone, all of his ties were gone, all of his shoes were gone.
Oh,
And
shit.
at that point, I didn't see my dad for 9 years.
Whoa.
I heard about
You're going
that.
to need a moral for that. You win. No, all due respect to you guys. You win the Story Smash. Christine Blackburn, who is the producer of a play
Executive
written by...
producer.
sorry?
And she's also the understudy for
Yeah.
one of the characters. She went up on Monday night and
That
actually
was fun.
crushed
That
it.
was a good
She's a
time.
fantastic actress.
Well, I don't know about that.
Were you off book or did you have to go on book?
Oh, no. I was off book. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I can do it with her because the scene is I'm this newbie salesperson who's up against it, and he's got to make the sale to save his daughter from the evil IRS agent that Mr. Hendrie is playing, and so I basically embrace the dark side, and she's the secretary that I make this 15-minute call with, and we actually stage it where she's on the bottom and I'm on top, and it's like a split screen. And the audience gets to see this whole sales call where she and I can't see each other, but we're facing out to the audience. And it's always been one of the scene stealers. That and Mr. Hendrie's first scene is incredible.
And the whole play, I'm sure, is incredible. I wish I were in New York right now to see it at the Actors Temple. How can I forget Temple? Of all things, how can I forget that? Actors Temple Theater, 339 West 47th Street, between 8th and 9th Avenue in Manhattan. It's playing now through November 17th. But don't wait till the end of the run. You're going to want to see it soon, and then you can see it again because you want to catch the things you missed. Yeah, you wanted to say something, Tom.
And the ticket to get tickets is
yeah.
www.
ThePitchOffBroadway.com.
ThePitchOffBroadway.com. We have 5 shows a week. Where Thursdays at 7:30. We do not perform on Fridays because Shabbat services. But we have 2 shows on Saturday, 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Not sure how we're still able to do the 3 o'clock, but I'm not asking questions. And then we have a Sunday matinee at 3 and a Monday show at 7:30. 5 shows a week. www.thepitchoffbroadway.com. It is the hottest off-Broadway comedy dramedy in New York City. And we've got the great legendary Hall of Fame, Radio Hall of Fame satirist, Mr. Phil Hendrie.
One thing I forgot to mention is that he's not kidding. Broadway World wrote about that. They sent a critic to the show, and this critic called it, quote, if you don't want to listen, Hendrie, to reviews or anything, but it's called it lightning in a bottle, smash hit play, deeply thoughtful, intelligent, and timeless, unquote. So
I'm not so bad.
We should all get reviews. I should get this for my sermons, goddammit. But ladies and gentlemen, we have had the delightful time of talking with 3 different people connected to The Pitch, the play at the Actors Temple. We've been talking with Tom Alper, who is an actor in it and the playwright of it. We've been talking to Christine Blackburn, Phil Hendrie. By the way, reminder that PhilHendrieShow.com is the place to listen to. By the way, last question for Phil, though. Your current website has all your recent podcasts. How much material do you have going back, and how accessible is it?
It's all accessible by way of a subscription, what we call a backstage pass, but it goes back. We have material that goes back over 20 years into Miami. We have hours from Miami, and I think we might even have an hour or 2 from Minnesota, WCCO radio. We have all of our LA stuff. We've got I say all of it, most of our LA stuff and our syndicated stuff from Premier Radio. And then it has the post syndicated beginnings of the podcast on up into the present time. So we feel we probably have the largest repository of media of any website in terms of just how many years and how many units,
If I tell you I am wearing the largest suppository of anybody on this block, I can probably anybody in my neighborhood, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
It's a thing. I got.
How could I doubt
Right.
it? I'd have to believe it.
I have to get going, and believe it or not, I got a little rehearsal with the understudy, so I don't need to.
It has been a delight. It has been a pleasure meeting all three of you. I wish you much success pitching the pitch even beyond this current run through November 17th at the Actors Temple. Everybody go see it. Thank you to Christine. Thank you to Phil. Thank you to Tom for bringing this delightful fun into the neighborhood. And shalom to you all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.